Alright, so today we're gonna try to get all this stuff taken off right here. It's dirty on here. All that right there. I'm gonna try to get all this stuff taken off and try to install the daggone, what you call it, the port injection. It might be a little bit difficult to do, but I'm gonna try to figure it out. Engine bay is a little bit dirty, ain't cleaned it in a while, so let's get to it. The first thing that they said is I'm gonna try to take this off and take the throttle body off. Obviously I'm gonna have to take the intake out. So I'm gonna take this off, take the throttle body off, because they said it's easier once you do that. And then once I do that, then I'll try to do everything else. So let's get it. All right, this is where we at. This right here was a biatch to get out of here. I don't know why. The hardest part was getting these the hardest part was trying to figure out how to disconnect these. Once I figured that out, then I got that out. Obviously you have to pop this off right here. Once you pop that off, it was good. And then I took off the throttle body. Then I'm gonna pop this off. And once I do that, I'll be all right. All right, welcome back to the channel. What I started yesterday was I tried to install the port injection on the B58 on the SUPRA. So I'm gonna show you guys how far I got, and I'm gonna do some explaining on what you could look out for when you're doing your port injection on your SUPRA as well. I didn't record a lot of the process, but I'm gonna try to explain it as thoroughly as possible and try to show you guys, you know, like the little tricks that maybe you could use to help you with yours. All right, so obviously everything is not complete. It's not fully back together. Like I just ran this this wire right here for the flex fuel sensor, which I hooked up there. But before we get into all that, let me explain something. So in order to install the port injection, you're going to need to remove the intake manifold. So I tried to do it without removing the intake manifold, and it was a pain in the ass. Obviously you're going to need a new charge pipe, which I had all this stuff sitting for a while. I just never installed it. Let's get to how you take off the intake manifold. All right, you're going to want to get these bolts right here. There's 6 of them, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5, 6, I think 7 of them, maybe 6 or 7 of them. And then you're gonna have to take off these 2 bolts right here. 1 and then 2 right there, right? So that's how you're gonna remove the intake manifold. Obviously before that, you're gonna want to take off your charge pipe, the stock charge pipe, which is, have a little, down here you're gonna have a little C-clip on your stock charge pipe. Make sure you pull that C-clip out, and then you pull that charge pipe off there, but you're gonna have to unbolt it right here as well. It's similar to how this one is. The stock one does not separate right here, so you're gonna have to unbolt this and maneuver it around and get it out, right? Then I took my time. I took the DME out, ECU, for you Honda people, or you know, people that come from different platforms. But all right, I took this out, took the DME out. Once I took the DME out, then I undid these. I don't remember where I left off at. I had to stop the video. Undid these, took the DME out, right? Obviously took off all the charge pipe stuff. And then once you unbolt the intake manifold, take the throttle body off so you could move it. Take the throttle body off so you can move it over to the right more, so it doesn't hit the AC line. I've seen people undo the line from under here. I think it's that one down there that runs to the bottom of the intake manifold. That's where you get your coolant to cool your intake manifold. Basically it's your intercooler in one, right? What you do is you have someone pick it up for you, pick it back. You just take a pick and you pull that little clip. It's a C-clip. So once you pull that little clip off, like all I did was I just took a flat tip screwdriver. It's gonna be like directly under here. You just take a flat tip screwdriver this way and you just pry it and it came right off. Now the trick to putting it back on, so it's these lines right here, right? The trick, you can't really see them, but they're right here. The trick to putting that line back on is you line them up, right? Obviously the little C-clip is there around it. You're gonna line them up. And what I did was I took this mallet right here. It's probably gonna be hard to do with the camera, but I took this mallet, I lined this up with this extension right here. I took this extension, put it there. Once the little C-clip is there, you just tap it with a rubber mallet. Same thing on this side, you just tap it for both of these lines, and then now it'll go right back on. You'll hear it clip. Once you hear it clip, you're good. Like, that's the hard part, that nobody tell you how to get that line off and how to get that line back on. These wires, once you reinstall everything. Oh, speaking of reinstall, like I had a difficult time getting my plate down because of how the injectors were lined up. Because the injector wire, I got the Visconti kit. The injector wires, they were hitting on lines and stuff that was already under there. So you got to make sure you test fit and test fit and test fit before you like clamp it down for good. So I test fitted like maybe like 6 or 7 times, got it good, and then I bolted it down. And then I did the same thing for this intake manifold. I test fit, make sure it was right before I clamp it down. I still have to run these wires. Obviously I ran the wire that goes down here for power for the ethanol content sensor. What I'm gonna do is, there's a ground right here. I'm just gonna undo that nut and then put the ground right there. Some people run it up here. I don't want to do that. I don't feel like doing all that up there. That is a ground right there, but you know, it's just cleaner so you can hide the wires, and then I could just zip tie all these over this way. You could just zip tie those there. Obviously this one, unplug it and plug it here. Unplug that and plug that there, and then you plug the other wire in under here, and then yeah, you're good there. But I just have to hook up the reflex, and I have to hook up, you know, whatever else this runs to and all that. The power, I gotta research this. I did look up the reflex already on how to hook up the reflex and the ethanol content, so that I kind of understand. But the extra injectors, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. And also bleeding this system, I'm going to have to figure that out as well. It seems like it's very difficult, but it's just the same as any other car. Don't let everything under the engine bay scare you. Like, I thought about that when I pulled the engine cover off. I was like, damn, this is just a lot of shit, a lot of stuff, and I'm gonna be like, you know, head over heels and everything. Once you get going into it, it's just the same as like any other car. Like, it's, for me, it's just the same as like Honda. It's just, you know, different parts that you're working with. Instead of another fuel rail and stuff like that, I'm doing a port injection plate. You know, in the Honda, you just get another a manifold with the fuel rails already in it, and you just run the fuel rail and route your fuel. Hey, make sure y'all read the instructions, all right? Right here, you do not add any Teflon tape. Well, for one, you don't add Teflon tape on end fittings, any end fittings, right? And here, you don't add any Teflon tape around this sensor. The reason why I said that is because the instructions said not to, so read the instructions. Obviously, you've seen that I had Teflon tape here. What I had to do, I had to take it off. I screw this out, take it off, then I vacuumed it and pull it out, vacuumed it, whatever. Make sure there ain't no, you know, tape left in the thread. So I took that off. I put my sensor up here. I don't believe it should make a difference, but the reason why I did that is because if the sensor go bad, I don't want to take this whole entire intake manifold off just so I can get under there to change that sensor. You know what I'm saying? But in the instructions, they did have the sensor mount closer to the rail. But my idea is, or my understanding, if this entire line is pressurized to pressurize the rail, then it's going to be pressurized right here. So you should be getting the accurate fuel pressure reading from right there. But if it doesn't, then guess what? I'll just be popping everything back off just to change that sensor around. Use some zip ties, clean everything up. Right here, when you're putting all the wires back, in order to get this one to clip, you're gonna have to undo this, separate it, and move this on top of the wire. I'm not even sure if I was recording that, but this is what I'm talking about right here. You're gonna have to move this on top of the wire and then get that to sit where it needs to go so you're not stretching the wires, and then clamp it back down and you'll be good. Everything else kind of lined up somewhat for this, which got a little bit dusty. It's gonna be cleaned up. But for this, obviously I'm gonna have to like cut it like around here, but it should be good elsewhere. I'm hoping once everything get clipped down right here, this will be out of the way. I'm gonna have to just like chop it right here. But I'd rather leave the engine cover on there and put the intake back on here, the little stock intake box. Sooner or later, I'm gonna do away with this turbo. I'm gonna leave it 2-port because I'm not trying to make crazy horsepower. I'm just gonna leave it 2-port, and I'm gonna get probably like a big boost kit to where it sits under here, and then I'm gonna just cover it back up with a stock air box and just be gapping on the highway, and nobody will ever know. I do have plans to get, obviously you guys saw on the stream, I like these carbon mirrors, these forged carbon. I'm gonna get the wing, that's the same forged carbon wing, and I just wanted to get the front lip. So I get the mirror caps I already have. I get the front lip, which mine is a little bit beat up, you can see, and then I get the wing, and that'll be it. But the car's gonna be down for a bit, slowly getting it back together. I'll keep you guys updated when I do stuff. I was trying to do a thorough like install of this port injection kit plate because I didn't really find one online. There's one I think from Speed Industries, but it didn't really go into detail. There's another guy, BMW guy, I can't remember his name, but he had a really thorough video. I followed his installation, but with his installation there was some stuff that was different. Like I think on the Gen 1, like the BMW B58s on the intake manifold, there's a clip that you gotta like shave off when you're putting the when you're connecting the intake back to the pressure plate, I mean the port injection plate. But yeah, I did look over the instructions once again. You know, I looked over it before. Probably sometime this week I'm gonna finish this up after I get the DME back, and I'll put everything back together once everything once I go over the instructions and I have everything right. But yeah, that's it for this video. Like, share, subscribe. I'll give you guys an update once I get it all finished and the ECU is back.